At the beginning of the story, we see Alex secretly poisoning his billionaire wife Maka's wine. The poison was designed to cause a heart attack exactly 8 hours later. After pretending to cry in front of the family, Alex quietly went to his lover's apartment. He had killed his wife because he wanted both her love and her fortune. The two of them started drinking together and celebrated their freedom. But their celebration did not last long. A sudden phone call from the forensic lab shocked them both. The caller revealed that Maka's body had disappeared from the morgue before the autopsy could even begin. Alex quickly rushed to the morgue, where the police told him about a very strange incident. They explained that the night guard on duty had seen something terrifying on the upper floor around midnight. He became so frightened that he ran out of the building in panic. But the moment he reached the road, a speeding car hit him. The guard was badly injured and fell into a coma. The strangest part was that every security camera inside the building had stopped working by itself. Only one camera was still recording, and it showed the guard running out in fear. Hearing this, Alex felt relieved. He thought to himself that if the body was gone, the police would never be able to prove that he was the killer. But just then, the electricity in the entire lab suddenly went out. Everything became completely silent. In the darkness, Alex heard a strange sound coming from the morgue. He carefully walked inside to check what it was. As soon as he entered, he noticed that the evidence locker was open. He slowly looked inside and froze in shock. The same bottle of poison that he had used to kill Maka was sitting right there. Alex had carefully planned the murder so that everyone would believe Maka had died from a natural heart attack. But now it looked like someone was trapping him with his own crime. Even worse, the mystery behind Maka's missing body had not been revealed yet. It was a secret that was about to change the entire story. Alex wanted to leave the morgue as quickly as possible, but before he could escape, the power suddenly came back on. At that exact moment, Inspector James arrived with his team. Alex quickly slipped the poison bottle into his pocket. Inspector James noticed that the compartment where Maka's body had been kept was now open. He also saw an evidence box placed nearby. This was the same box that contained all the items collected from Maka, but one important thing was missing. Her mobile phone had disappeared. James immediately suspected that Alex had stolen it. He ordered one of his officers to search Alex. Alex refused because he knew what was hidden in his pocket. He did not have the phone, but he was carrying the poison bottle. If the police found it, they would have a powerful piece of evidence against him. Trying to stay calm, Alex cleverly started taking things out of his pocket with one hand. But Inspector James grabbed him before he could hide anything. He searched Alex himself and found the poison bottle. James looked at him angrily and asked, "What is this?" Alex quickly replied, "This bottle was lying here. I thought it was some dangerous chemical, so I was going to throw it away." Before James could respond, Alex became impatient and said, "I don't understand why you're keeping me here. I have other work to do. I need to go home right now." James ignored his excuse. He sent the bottle to the lab for testing and told Alex that he would have to stay until his statement was officially recorded. "You can return home only after giving your statement." Before giving his statement, Alex told Inspector James that he needed to use the bathroom. James allowed him to go, but by now he already suspected Alex. To be safe, he placed one of his officers outside the bathroom door. As soon as Alex went inside, he quickly called his girlfriend, Carla. Speaking in a low voice, he said, "Carla, only you and I knew how Maka died. I don't know how, but I think someone else has found out the truth. Someone is planting evidence against us and trying to frame us." While Alex was still talking on the phone, he suddenly heard a strange sound behind him. He turned around and noticed that the bathroom ventilation window was open. A letter had been left there. Alex picked it up and opened it. The moment he read it, he was completely stunned. It was an invitation card for a business club dinner party. On the back of the card, someone had written, "I can still see you even with my eyes closed." The message immediately brought back an old memory. A few weeks earlier, Maka was supposed to attend that same business club dinner party with Alex. The night before the event, both of them were asleep when Alex's phone received a message. He quietly checked it without waking Maka. The message had come from his girlfriend, Carla. It said, "I can still see you even with my eyes closed." It was the exact same message that was now written on the invitation card. Alex became deeply confused. He wondered who else could have seen that private message, who was trying to trap him. Again and again, his mind went back to Maka. Deep inside, he believed that she had already started suspecting his affair. But then another question came to his mind. Maka was dead, so how could she possibly leave this letter here? Just then, the police officer waiting outside called for Alex and told him to come out quickly. Alex panicked. To destroy the evidence, he tore the letter into small pieces. Then he threw them into the toilet and pressed the flush button. But unfortunately, there was no water in the flush tank. Before he could think of another plan, the officer entered the bathroom and started banging loudly on the toilet door. The torn pieces of the letter were still floating inside the dirty toilet bowl. If the officer found them, they could become another piece of evidence against Alex. With no other choice, Alex reached into the filthy toilet, pulled out every piece of the letter, and started swallowing them. He almost threw up because of the horrible smell, but he forced himself to eat every last piece to destroy the evidence. After that, he came out of the bathroom and lied to the officer. He said he had been feeling sick and was vomiting, which was why he had taken so long. The officer then told Alex that the investigation had uncovered a new clue. He took Alex to the maintenance room in the basement. This was the room that controlled the electricity for the entire building. There was also a large ventilation tunnel, and its metal cover had been removed. Inspector James explained that the person who stole Meika's body had entered the building through that ventilation tunnel. He also said that the tunnel connected all the way to the roof. According to James, the thief had probably climbed in through the ventilation system, cut the CCTV wire so nobody could see him, entered the morgue, taken Meika's body from the freezer, and escaped through the same ventilation tunnel. James also revealed that his team had found shoe prints behind the building. The footprints led toward the nearby forest. The shoe print evidence had already been sent to the lab for forensic examination. After that, Inspector James told Alex something that completely shocked him. He said, "Look carefully, Alex. The thief could have entered the maintenance room through the ventilation tunnel, but it was impossible for that person to reach the morgue from here because there is a security door in between. That door can only be opened with the correct password." James then pointed at a calendar hanging on the wall. One specific date had been marked on it. The date was March 20, 2012. James continued, 20/03/2012. This date became the new password for the security door. Someone changed it just last night so the thief could get inside. Does this date remind you of anything? Alex suddenly became nervous because the security door at his own laboratory also used the same date as its password. Only Alex and Meika knew that password. Meika had often asked him why this date was so special to him, but Alex always avoided answering. The truth was that this was the day Alex had met his girlfriend, Carla, for the very first time. Once again, the mysterious person who was setting him up had placed another important clue right in front of the police. Even so, Alex acted as if he had no idea what the date meant. Just then, water suddenly started spraying all over the building. Someone had activated the fire alarm system. James gathered Alex and the other officers and started walking toward the main lobby. While they were moving, Alex's phone suddenly rang. It was a call from his girlfriend, Carla. Alex quietly slipped into a nearby room so James would not notice him and then answered the call. At that moment, Carla was standing outside the hospital where the security guard was being treated. This was the same guard who had seen something terrifying inside the morgue, run away in fear, and then been hit by a speeding car. Alex told Carla to keep watching the guard closely. He wanted her to question him as soon as he woke up and find out exactly what he had seen that night outside the morgue. While they were talking, Alex suddenly noticed something that left him speechless. Hanging right in front of him was a body identification tag. It was the kind of tag tied to a dead person's foot in the morgue, but the name written on it was Carla's. Alex froze in shock. At that exact moment, he caught a quick glimpse of Meika standing behind the door. She disappeared in the blink of an eye. Alex was terrified. He nervously said to Carla, "Carla, what I was afraid of has happened. Meika is alive. I just saw her. I think she already knew everything about us. She knew we were planning to kill her. Maybe she only pretended to die. I don't know how, but somehow she saved herself." Carla could not believe what she was hearing. She replied, "Alex, you're imagining things. How can a dead person possibly be alive?" But Alex refused to change his mind. He said, "Carla, my eyes are not lying. Meika is alive. You know how intelligent she is. She is setting a trap for us. And I think someone else is helping her from the outside. The police already believe that Meika is dead. Now she can do anything she wants. Even if she kills both of us, the police will never suspect someone who is officially dead." Alex warned Carla to stay alert and then ended the call. Just then, Inspector James walked into the room while looking for Alex. He looked at him and asked, "Who were you talking to?" Alex quickly lied and told Inspector James that he had been talking to his sister. James did not believe him and immediately took away his phone. His suspicion toward Alex became even stronger. From the very beginning, James had been carefully watching him. He had noticed that Alex showed almost no real sadness over his wife's death. Just then, James' partner, Bablo, arrived with an important update. He told James that the forensic report on the poison bottle found in Alex's pocket was ready. The report revealed that it contained a rare poison made from the saliva of a reptile, such as a giant lizard or a Komodo dragon. This poison could cause a fatal heart attack exactly 8 hours after entering a person's body. The moment James heard this, he and the other officers fell silent. James looked at his team and said that Meika had officially died from a heart attack, and now Alex had been caught carrying a poison that could cause the same kind of heart attack. He said this could not be a coincidence. James was now convinced that Alex had murdered his wife. He decided that the rest of the questioning would take place at the police station. Until the police vehicle arrived, James locked Alex inside the morgue. Sitting there alone, Alex kept wondering how Meika could have survived. Suddenly, he heard a strange noise nearby. He stood up and noticed that one of the morgue windows was open. As he slowly walked toward it, he froze in fear. A wine glass was sitting on the window. It was the very same glass that he had used to poison Maka. At that moment, Maka suddenly appeared right behind him like a ghost. Alex was about to scream in terror when he suddenly opened his eyes. It had all been a nightmare. He had fallen asleep while sitting on the floor. Before he could fully recover from the frightening dream, he heard a phone ringing somewhere inside the morgue. The ringtone was coming from beside one of the dead bodies. Alex opened the body bag and pulled out the phone. When he looked at the screen, he saw that the incoming call was from Maka. With trembling hands, he answered the call, but no one spoke from the other side and the call ended after a few seconds. Alex then checked the phone and noticed that the contact list contained only one number, Maka's. He immediately called that number back. This time, a woman answered the phone, but it was not Maka. She introduced herself as a waitress at a restaurant. She explained that she had found this phone in the restaurant's bathroom. Alex asked if she had seen the person who left the phone there, but she said no. She only mentioned that the phone showed a call forwarding message. Alex instantly realized what had happened. The phone with the waitress was not Maka's actual phone. The calls from Maka's phone had simply been forwarded to this device. That meant Maka's real phone was still missing. Alex ended the call and then checked the identity tag on the dead body beside which the phone had been found. The tag showed the name Javier Alonso. The moment Alex read that name, he remembered something Maka had told him shortly before her death. During a dinner at a restaurant, Maka had mentioned that Javier Alonso was her psychologist, the doctor who treated her mind. But now Alex became convinced that Javier was actually Maka's secret partner and that both of them had planned this entire game together. Without wasting any time, Alex called Carla again. He told her to find out everything she could about Javier. Alex believed that if they discovered how Javier had died, they would finally be able to expose Maka's entire plan. Meanwhile, Inspector James found himself lost in the memories of a painful event from his own past. 10 years earlier, Inspector James was driving home with his wife and young daughter when their car was involved in a terrible accident. His wife lost her life in that crash. Even after 10 years, the memory still brought tears to James' eyes. While he was thinking about the past, his partner Bablo came to him with Maka's bank account records. They had discovered an important clue related to her death. James immediately called Alex in for another round of questioning. Looking directly at him, James said, "Alex, I have been watching you since the beginning. You don't look like a man who has just lost his wife. You don't seem sad at all. On top of that, we found a bottle of poison in your pocket. That poison can cause a heart attack after exactly 8 hours. It is obvious that you poisoned your wife. Then before the autopsy could expose the poison, you made her body disappear." Alex became angry and replied, "Do you really think I'm that stupid? If I had poisoned my wife, would I be carrying the poison bottle in my own pocket? And besides, I'm a chemist. I know that TH16 is a poison that cannot be detected during an autopsy. If I were the killer, why would I steal the body and create more problems for myself? And what reason would I even have to kill my wife?" James smiled and said, "Then let's talk about your reason." He placed Maka's account records on the table and continued, "You probably already know this, Alex. 3 months ago, your wife hired a private detective to investigate you. The payment came directly from Maka's bank account. It is clear that she suspected you were having an affair with another woman. If that suspicion had been proven true, your marriage contract says you would have received nothing after the divorce. You would have lost every right to her wealth." James then asked, "Now tell me, Alex, did that detective catch you with your girlfriend or not? If he did, then your motive becomes very clear. You killed your wife because she was about to remove you from her fortune. We will know the truth soon enough. One of our patrol teams has already gone to that detective's house. His name is Javier Alonso." The moment Alex heard that name, he was completely shocked. That meant Javier was not Maka's psychologist after all. He was actually a private detective. But Alex had just seen a dead body with Javier's name in the morgue. Alex quickly rushed back to the morgue with James, but when they checked the body again, he was left speechless. It was not Javier's body. Even the name tag attached to the corpse had been changed. Alex became so disturbed that he almost threw up. At that moment, James received a phone call from Bablo. Bablo reported that Javier had disappeared from his house. All the records related to his investigations were missing. Even the hard drive from his computer had been removed. After hearing this, James became even more convinced that Alex had made Javier disappear along with all the evidence. James immediately sent Bablo and his team to search Alex's house. Meanwhile, Alex found himself alone in the bathroom once again. He secretly called Carla. She was terrified and had already started packing her belongings because she wanted to leave the city. By now, she also knew that Javier was actually a private detective. Speaking with a trembling voice, Carla told Alex that when she returned from the hospital after checking on the security guard, someone had slipped an envelope under the door of her apartment. Inside the envelope was a USB drive. Carla opened it and sent the photos stored on it to Alex's phone. The moment Alex saw those pictures, his heart almost stopped. The photos clearly showed him and Carla spending romantic moments together. Carla also told Alex that the USB drive contained an audio recording. It was the conversation in which she and Alex had planned Meika's murder. The moment Alex heard this, he broke into a cold sweat. In a panicked voice, he said, "I knew it. Carla, Meika is not dead. She already knew everything about us. She worked together with Javier and planned everything in advance to save herself. She trapped us so perfectly that we cannot even accuse her because the police already believe she is dead. Now she can do anything she wants to us. But Carla, I promise I won't let anything happen to you." By now, Carla had completely lost her trust in Alex. She was terrified and decided to leave him. As soon as she stepped out of her apartment and reached the street, a speeding car started coming toward her. Its bright headlights blinded her. Then, without any warning, her voice suddenly disappeared from the phone call. Alex immediately realized that something terrible had happened to Carla. Without thinking twice, he tried to rush out to save her, but Inspector James blocked his way. Alex angrily pushed him aside, trying to get past him. James responded with a powerful punch that knocked Alex back. Even then, Alex was only worried about Carla. He finally admitted the truth and told James that Carla was his girlfriend and that she was in danger. James immediately sent a police team to Carla's address. Then he demanded that Alex tell him the whole truth. With a heavy heart, Alex confessed everything. He explained that he had met Carla 8 months earlier. She had been his student. At that time, he was already unhappy in his marriage with Meika. Carla gave him a reason to feel alive again. Later, when Carla found out that Alex was married, she became upset with him. She clearly told him that she would never stay with him as long as Meika was still in his life. Around that same time, Alex realized that Meika had already started suspecting his affair. Before Meika could remove him from her fortune, Alex decided to kill her. He confessed that he had mixed poison into Meika's wine. It was the same poison that caused a heart attack after 8 hours. But Alex also insisted that Meika was extremely clever. He claimed that she had somehow survived and was now trying to kill both him and Carla. Hearing this, James laughed. He asked, "You poisoned her with your own hands. According to your story, how did she survive? You saw her drink the wine yourself." Alex nervously replied, "She may have switched the glasses. Or maybe she took a neuroleptic drug that can make a person look almost dead. Some drugs slow down breathing and reduce the heartbeat so much that the body appears lifeless. Once the effect wears off, the body returns to normal. Meika must have taken something like that so everyone would believe she had died." Even after hearing this explanation, James still did not believe him. Alex desperately begged, "Inspector, I have told you everything. Please find out what happened to Carla." Just then, James received another phone call from Pablo, who was searching Alex's house. Pablo reported that they had discovered several new pieces of evidence that made Alex look even more guilty. The police had found a detailed map of the morgue where Meika's body had disappeared. They had also recovered a gun that had been fired recently. But that was not all. Inside the trunk of Alex's car, they found a black mask, a pair of shoes covered in mud, and a shovel. Pablo also reported that Alex's shoes matched the footprints found behind the morgue. All the evidence pointed to the same conclusion. It appeared that Alex had stolen Meika's body and buried it somewhere in the forest. Just then, James received another important update. The night guard at the hospital had finally come out of his coma and had given his statement. According to the guard, all the CCTV cameras suddenly stopped working while he was on duty that night. A strange noise then came from the morgue. He grabbed a flashlight and went upstairs to investigate. There, he saw a person wearing a black mask dragging Meika's body away. When the masked person noticed the guard, he fired several gunshots at him. The frightened guard ran for his life, and while escaping, he was hit by a speeding car. At this point, James believed he had enough evidence to prove Alex's guilt, but Alex still refused to give up. He said, "Please believe me, Inspector, Meika is not dead. She planned all of this together with Javier. The masked person who took Meika's body was not me, it was Javier. They wanted everyone to believe that Meika's body had been stolen. That way, if she later killed me and Carla, no one would ever suspect her because the police already believe she is dead." But James did not believe a single word. A black mask had been found in Alex's car. The gun used in the shooting had also been found there. On top of that, Alex's shoes matched the footprints left behind the morgue. The evidence was simply too strong. James finally arrested Alex and prepared to take him to the police station. While they were on the way, James received a call from the officers he had sent to check on Carla. What they discovered was shocking. Carla's apartment was completely empty. There was no sign of her anywhere. Even more surprising, the neighbors said that no woman named Carla had ever lived there. There were no documents or records connected to anyone by that that name. While they were still processing this information, Bablo arrived with another update. He said that a dead body had been found in the forest. The moment Alex heard this, tears filled his eyes. He immediately believed that Meka had killed Carla. The body was pulled out of a pit, and when the body bag was opened, Alex was completely stunned. It was Meka's body. James looked at Alex with anger and said, "You are a coward and a terrible man. You always wanted to kill your wife and take her fortune, but you never had the courage to do it alone. Carla was only a creation of your own mind. Your brain invented Carla to give you the courage you needed to murder your wife." Alex stood there in complete silence. He had nothing left to say. The evidence collected so far strongly suggested that he was suffering from a serious mental disorder, and his crime now seemed fully proven. James ordered his officers to take Meka's body away. Soon, only James and Alex were left standing there. Suddenly, Alex pushed James aside and tried to run away. But after running only a short distance, he became weak, lost his strength, and collapsed to the ground. Inspector James slowly walked over to Alex. Alex was struggling to breathe and could barely move. Watching him suffer, James said, "Do you know, Alex, what you're feeling right now is exactly what my wife went through. 10 years ago, I was driving home with my wife and daughter when a black car crashed into us. Instead of helping us, the people inside drove away. My wife suffered right in front of my eyes, and in the end, she died. I believe the people in that car were drunk." Tears filled James' eyes as he continued. "I couldn't see the license plate that night, but a few years later, my daughter remembered the number. That car belonged to you." Alex's eyes widened in shock and fear. He remembered the accident. Meka had been in the car with him that night. Instead of helping the injured family, both of them had escaped from the scene. James then said, "The day my daughter and I discovered that you and Meka were responsible for my wife's death, we decided that one day we would take our revenge. So we made a plan." Alex received the biggest shock of all when James showed him a photo of his daughter. It was Carla. The truth was that Carla had only pretended to fall in love with Alex. Her job was to push him into killing Meka. After that, James himself had secretly removed Meka's body from the morgue. Then he and Carla planted all the evidence that made Alex look guilty for Meka's murder. There was one final truth left. The reason Alex was now dying was because, after murdering Meka, he had gone to Carla's apartment to celebrate. During that celebration, Carla had secretly mixed the very same poison into Alex's drink. It was the poison that caused a fatal heart attack after 8 hours. The moment Alex learned the truth, he fell into complete shock. He suffered in pain for a few more moments, then died right in front of James. James quietly looked at him, smiled with satisfaction, and walked away. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If you liked this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel to see more such videos. Thanks for watching.